Well, hey everybody. Ah man, you know what? Things ain't working just right here. Wonder why? Huh. This ain't right. That's in. Microphone's in. Why do I not have sound? I don't know. This is screwed up. I don't know why I do not have sound. Hmm. Computer says I'm working. Too bad I don't have anybody here live so we can figure this out. You know, I don't get this. Look, I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Let me see what's this here. All right. Says everything's working, so we'll go with it. Let me see. Let me try this. So let's just continue, and hopefully there's sound. All right. Lots been going on, folks. Sorry I haven't been on. I've been real sick, in and out of the hospital. Pneumonia kicks my ass every time I catch it, and I had it twice in the last 30 days. So here I am. Now, hopefully, y'all caught last week's where I suggested that you all, if you haven't done so already, create your account on va.gov. So this way you can access your medical records on My Healthy Vet, because My Healthy Vet is now on va.gov. Can't get it anywhere else. It's on va.gov. And it works out good. It is. You don't have to worry about it. But you need to create your account on there so you can access your medical records. One, to make sure your doctors are putting in the notes, what they're telling you. Two, you can check up on your labs, on your x-rays, on your C-scans, on your MRIs, all that. You can look it all up. You just can't see the pictures. You gotta have a special program in order to look at the x-rays and stuff. And I guess it costs an arm and a leg, so I don't suggest buying it. But here's the other reason why you should be creating your account on va.gov. You can download your records. So if anything happens, boom, hey, you have your medical records right there. Now, we're going to move on to some other stuff. All right. We all know what's going on. We're not going to get into details with it or anything like that. But one thing we're going to do first is the latest VA suicide report has come out. And there's an increase in veteran suicide. Excuse me, folks. It's been a rough few days, weeks, 30 days. But hey, so there's an increase to veterans taking their own lives. And we need to figure this out. I personally think we need to be educating the community that veterans live in, such as their family, their friends, saying, hey, these are possible warning signs. So, and this is how you should be, the questions you should be asking. And if your veteran says, yes, I have been thinking about killing myself, here's the resources to help them. So, your family members should be getting involved with this. Your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, the community you live in. All right. I'm not going to go into too much about it tonight because I'm sure there'll be more stuff coming up about it soon. Now, I think on the last episode, I mentioned that on the White House website that they took down the contact page. So you were not able to email anybody. Well, guess what? It's back. But before you were able to, let's say, email the VA secretary or the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of Transportation or the Secretary of Education, you could do that on the White House website. You cannot do that anymore. You can only email the president. Now, I've been emailing him. I've also sent some letters via the post office. I'm asking him to designate September 22nd as Veteran Suicide Awareness and Prevention Day. Now, here in Ohio, we already have that. And it helps organizations come together to educate the community that veterans live in on warning signs and resources available. All right. The community comes together when we hold our rallies against suicide here in Ohio, and people learn about how to prevent suicide, especially amongst veterans. It's a good thing. Now, this year, we're going to have these rallies across the state. The whole state's going to get involved. Something tells me you're going to see veteran suicide drop in Ohio. All right. Now, more will come later on about this, so we'll keep that up. All right. Now, one thing I desperately need to talk to you all about, and we're not going to dwell on this too long. This is going to be a very short episode, but this is very important. Late last night, the Senate voted on the 2025 federal budget, and they debated and argued, and all kinds of stuff happened. Now, I can't remember the number. I can look it up here. But Senator Blumenthal, let me see, where is he from? Well, let me do this first. Let me find out what that number is. Senate Amendment 659, submitted by Blumenthal. And here's what this amendment was for: to ensure full and uninterrupted funding for Department of Veterans Affairs healthcare and benefits provided by the Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson, honoring our promise to address comprehensive toxics Act of 2022, also known as the PACT Act. All right. Now, this amendment would not cost any extra money if it passed. And you heard me correctly there. If it passed, every single Republican voted against it. Now, this is as political as I want to get with this podcast. All right. This bill, this law, has helped millions of veterans get health care that otherwise they would not have gotten, since the burden of proof used to be on the veteran themselves. Which means when you filed your claim, you had to prove that your illness was due to your service. 9 times out of 10, those claims got denied. You know that. It took me 25 years to prove my service connection. I got my service connection shortly before the PACT Act was passed. Y'all know I advocated for the PACT Act. I went back and forth to DC with a lot of good people. John Stewart, John Field, Rosie Torres. Good people. And we fought our asses off. We even slept on the steps of the Capitol building when the Senate voted it down. Republican senators voted down the PACT Act. And we had to call them out. And we did. With respect. There's no violence, no name calling, but we called them out. Oh, wait a minute. John Stewart might have called some of them a few names, but hey, that's John Stewart. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because the new Secretary of the VA, Secretary Collins, has repeatedly stated that veterans' benefits and services are not in jeopardy of being cut. They're going to stay intact. As he fired over 1,000 employees. Okay. Which, by the way, has created a problem with scheduling at the Cleveland VA, Cleveland, Ohio. You know, when your doctor says, hey, we need to get some x-rays done, they put in a consult. Usually the very next day you get a phone call saying, hey, we need to schedule these x-rays for you. That's not happening in Cleveland, folks. You got to call and get them scheduled. Because people that got fired are the ones that worked in scheduling. Hey. So as we, ponder that, when they voted down this amendment, were they thinking at all? Something tells me they weren't. Because, see, you get rid of the PACT Act, isn't that getting rid of benefits and services? You see, one thing that they're not telling you, too, is the VA fired researchers. The ones that are researching these new cancers and new illnesses such as constrictive bronchiolitis and Gulf War syndrome. They're researching new techniques and treatments. All that's gone. So isn't that getting rid of veterans benefits and services? I know there's a lot of people that worked on the PACT Act to get it passed that are quite upset right now. And rightfully so. Because my two new senators here in Ohio, Moreno and I think it's pronounced Husted. He used to be the lieutenant governor. They vowed to work for veterans. They care for veterans. They're going to make sure veterans are taken care of. They voted no on this amendment. Matter of fact, every single Republican senator voted on this, voted no on this amendment. Even our good old friend Paul Rand, who stated the reason he voted no on the PACT Act was because every single veteran lies about their illnesses just to get free money. Well, I got his free money right here. That compensation I'm getting is helping keep me alive. Yeah, I'm mad. Y'all should be too. So I need y'all to do something for me. Not for me, but for yourselves and your brothers and sisters, your fellow veterans. Who's texting me right now? Let's see. But here's the deal. Now, we need you to call your senators, both of them. Every state has two. Tell them they need to protect the PACT Act. They need to leave it alone. Let it continue. Let it be funded. We also need you to call your congressman. You have one. Every state has many, but you have one. And that's the person who handles everything for the district you live in DC. You need to call them and say, hey, you need to make sure that PACT Act stays intact. Make sure it stays funded. So I'm sure y'all heard what they did with the 9/11 first responders healthcare. They defunded that. So all those people who are still alive are fighting for their healthcare as we speak. And this should not happen to us. We need to speak up now. Starting tonight. Get on those phones. Start emailing your elected officials and tell them we need the PACT Act. You need to leave veterans benefits and services alone. You need to email Secretary Collins. Say, hey, you better be doing what you say you're doing and protecting our benefits and services. Matter of fact, Veterans Insurance Network called him out and says, hey, he needs to come out and state that he will do whatever it takes to protect the PACT Act. So that's it, folks. That's all I got tonight. If I keep going, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to be upset, even more than I already am. Well, please, please call your senators, call your congressmen, and say, hey, you say you fight for us. Now's the time. You got to speak up and protect our benefits and services. All right, folks. Hopefully next week I got some other information for you. Better news than I do tonight. And like I said, please, if you have not done so, create your account on va.gov so you can view your medical records and you can download them. So if anything starts going awry, you have your medical records right there. Protect it on your computer, on an external hard drive, which is where I put mine. It's for your own protection. All right. All right, folks. Look, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I'll see you all next week.